Good evening, everybody. Can I just get a thumbs up? Can everybody hear me? Thank you. Can you also see my slides? Good. Welcome to this evening's class. I hope you are ready for the long weekend. I hope you all brought your Easter bunny presents for the family. But we still have 2 days to go, so let's get going with tonight's class. It's quite a long class, so I hope you also have coffee so that you are wide awake. So let's get going. Welcome to Anine as well, one of the other lecturers. Hello, Anine. Do you just want to say hello to everybody? There we go. Okay, so let's get going. I ask you to please keep example 5.2 close. We're going to work through that as an example, how to do the general ledger, etc. And a piece of paper and a calculator. Oh, and a calculator, piece of paper and a calculator. That should actually be in a pen, but yeah, never mind. I can see I need the long weekend. Okay. So, as I said, tonight we are focusing on learning Unit 5, the ledger accounts. And I just want to go back a few steps. Remember last time I said everything starts with a transaction. When you go and buy petrol at the petrol station, and we're not talking about prices this evening, you get a source document, which is the printout from the machine to say that you've purchased 500 rands petrol. That you take to your bookkeeper, and that person will then record it in the books of first entry. And that we did last time. That is your cash receipts, cash payments journal, also your trust cash payments and receipts journal, your general ledger, etc. So tonight we are going to take it a step further, and we're going to focus on getting the information from the books of first entry into our ledger accounts. Remember, I also explained to you last time that always remember with your basic accounting equation that assets equals equity and liabilities. You've practiced that now quite often. Debits always needs to balance with your credits, and where the terminology T account comes from, it is literally a T account, and we've got debits and credits in that manner. So just keep that in mind. These are the different types of journals that we discussed previously. As I said, your business cash receipts journal, your business cash payments journal, your trust cash receipts journal, your trust cash payments journal, your fees journal, and your general ledger. That is usually what we focus on in this module, and also in this assessments. So make sure that you know what goes into these different ledgers, what belongs where, the headings of those journals, also the fees and the general journal, what belongs where. Okay, so let's start now with example 5.2. I'm not going to put it on my screen. I don't know if somebody wants to post that again on the chat so some people can have a look at it. But I won't be able to share that as well as my answer with you. That'll be a bit too much for me. Okay, so if we go to example 5.2 in the study material, remember last time I told you also, where do you start with a question? You start by looking at the required first. So if we look on, I think it's page 12 of that question, I'm going to open the sound to everybody. Let me just open that quickly because I want us to be a bit active so that I can hear that you are working with me on this. Okay, so required. Prepare the following in the books of Africa attorneys for February 2020. Books of first entry, that is required, the 4 that I just listed to you previously, plus the general ledger. Thank you. There it is on the slide. Thanks, Janine. The general ledger, the client's ledger, and the trust creditors ledger. Okay, so that is what's required in this question. So now we need to start. We have to open, and I've done this already. I'm going to give you like 2 minutes just to do this on your rough work paper, please. I don't want you just to look at the answer. I want you to work with me so that you see where everything fits. We've got a business cash receipts, a business cash payments, trust cash receipts, trust cash payments, as well as a fees journal and a general journal. If you can open that for me on a piece of paper quickly, I'm going to give you 2 minutes just to do that. Perhaps I can get a thumbs up once you are ready for me. You don't need to do it neatly. Just make sure that the headings are clear, that you can see what goes in where. As explained previously also, in the assignment or the tests, exams, you will have to know this is a cash receipts journal. What goes in there? Sundries, clients control, and bank. Business bank, we usually say, let me put that in, because that is what we usually call it, business bank. This is a trust bank. So these things you have to know so that you are able to do this in your assignments. And also important to know the difference in your business books. You've got clients control and clients control, whereas in your trust cash receipts and payments journal, you've got trust creditors control, trust creditors control. Also remember the different abbreviations. Trust cash payments journal, trust cash receipts journal, business cash receipts journal, business cash payments journal. So these you must be able to identify when you do a question online. Okay, those 4, and then the fees journal and the general journal. Domani, do you have a question? Sorry, let me just fix my sound. There we go, it was muted. Okay, you can ask Kamani. Are you ready? Have you all done these journals? Have you opened them? Are you ready for the next step?
No, ma'am.
Not yet, okay.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, hello.
I want to ask why the business cash payments journal on the trust cash payments journal and the trust receipts journal and the business cash receipts journal. Where is it? And what do you call this? And receipts. Isn't that supposed to be details?
Is that not supposed to be?
Details.
This one.
Yes, ma'am.
No, it's payments. It can be details as well, but it can be payments. We can put in details as well. As long as you know these columns, these are the important ones. So once trust creditors and clients control, you can put in details here as well. It doesn't really matter. Let's put in details. I think that is more often what we use in the assignments, is it not?
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and those the fees journal and the general journal as well. Hello, Irvana. I'm not sure where it was posted. I didn't check the announcements. I just know that I had to be presenting tonight at 7, so I haven't checked, sorry. But I see there's quite a few of you in the room, so that's very great. Thanks. It's a long evening for you all, but I assume tomorrow you've got no classes. Yeah, we're only back on this 8th. We're only back on the 8th. You just joined, no problem. Just try and grab a piece of paper and open those items, those journals that I have on the screen on a piece of paper as quickly as possible.
Ma'am,
Yes.
can you please scroll up so I can see the trust, cash receipts?
Okay. Okay, can I start working through the questions slowly? You can always open as we proceed, but otherwise we're going to run out of time. Most of these first entries we have already covered in some of the previous presentations. So I want us to try and go through it as quickly as possible because you should be familiar with it at this stage, but let's see how it goes. So we are supposed to do the 4 journals given to us, and then the question gives us a list of balances per the general ledger at the end of January 20.6. And we are now we are asked to do the books at the end of February. So those lists of balances, that's the end of the previous month. I will show you where that goes in a little bit later. And then in number 2, the following balances end of January appear in the client's ledger. They give us 3 there. And then they give us, how many do they give us? Just get my pages in order. They only give us 1 trust creditor ledger end of January as well, and those I will show you later where that goes. But let's start off with the first transaction on page 11, if I'm not mistaken. Is that the same numbers that you have? I hope so. So let's quickly try and run through it. I want to see that you can still remember how to do it. On the 1st of February, by office rent for February, 14,440. First one, in which journal does that go? Quick. Are you all muted again?
The business cash payments journal.
Cash? Just say again.
Business cash payments journal.
Perfect. So on the 1st, and please work with me. On the 1st, office rent. The follow we're going to leave for now. I'll explain that later. 14,440 under sundries because it's not clients, nothing to do with the client. And this question doesn't have any VAT. There's no mention of VAT, so excluding VAT everything. Everybody okay with that? Please stop if you don't understand. Otherwise, I'm just going to proceed with the next transaction. Again, on the 1st, purchase by EFT, Government Gazettes accounting amounting to 2,200 for the library. The carrying amount of the law library before the above mentioned purchase was 12,000 Rand. Okay, so we purchase Government Gazettes for the library. Which journal are we using for that?
Business cash receipts journal.
We purchase by EFT. We purchase by EFT. Is it the receipt or a payment?
The payment.
The payment. Agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Law library. And the amount is 1,200. 1,200.
Ma'am,
Okay. Yes.
in the general journal.
No, because it's cash.
Okay.
Purchased by EFT. Okay. Another one on the 1st, purchase computer equipment for 45,500 Rand from SA Computing on credit. Now, in which journal now?
General journal.
Everybody agree with the general journal. Why? Because it's on credit. We can't put it in a business cash payments or receipts journal. It's on credit. Everybody understands that. So that goes into the general journal. And our entry, what is increased? What is now more in the business? What did we get?
Equipment.
Computers or computer equipment. Computers, that is what we bought. And that is more, so it's on the debit side. An asset, remember, increases on the debit side. 45,500. And what goes on the credit side? Remember, it must balance, always balance. Debit and credits must be equal. So what goes, this looks weird. It's on the 1st of February. What is on the trade and other payables? Because we still owe them money. Okay, we owe SA Computing money. So you can either call it accounts payable or trade. It's not really trade. No, it's not trade payables, because trade is for purchases, things for your business when you have a trading operation. So I would rather prefer working with accounts payable. That is more correct in this case. We're not purchasing and selling small items. Okay. And always remember to have an explanation or a narrative, as we call it, at the end. Computers, and this you can type in anything that makes sense to you, that you can explain it. Computers bought on credit. You can even say from SA Computing. There's no right or wrong in this narrative. It's there to explain to you. Yes?
Sorry, ma'am.
Yes.
Will I be penalized if I said trade payable?
No, you won't be penalized, because if there's in the exam, you will get a drop-down menu that you then pick the correct one. So in that, you'll most probably have bank, computers, accounts payable, assets, whatever. So you will find the one that relates to this transaction, and it will obviously be either accounts payable or trade payables, doesn't matter, but you will know which one to pick from the drop down. You won't have accounts payable and trade payables. You won't be in the drop down. So you'll have just to pick the one that's more relevant to payables. Okay, is it clear?
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, next one. Sia?
Evening,
Can I
ma'am.
ask, ma'am? Sorry.
Yeah. Yes.
Is there a mark for explanation on
Yes.
computers bought on credits? Is there a
Yes.
mark there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. If the question asks you for anything, if there's a block for something, you'll get a mark for it. So if there's no block in your general journal for the narrative, then obviously it's not necessary to put it in, and there won't be a mark for that. But if there's a block, you'll get a mark for the narrative, yes. Okay. Are those old hands now?
Evening, ma'am.
Yes.
Can I ask why are items or equipment bought on credit not supposed to be recorded on the business cash payments journal?
Because cash, can you hear it? Cash payments journal. We didn't pay for it cash, we bought it on credit. So we still owe the money to SA Computing. So can you see it when you read the information? Look for, is it on credit or is it cash? Is it EFT payment or transfer or cash or whatever? That is your indication what journal to use.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Right, the next one we have is another on the first. A partner in Africa Attorneys is Africa, one of assume took one of the new laptops home for his son to use. The laptop cost 9,500 Rand. Okay, is there any cash applicable here? Can you hear anything about cash? A partner took one of the computers home for his son to use. Can you hear there's no cash? So what other journal will we then use?
The general journal.
The general journal. Is that clear to you? Do you understand that reasoning?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so again, we put in the 1st of February. Now, what is increasing and what is decreasing? I want you to think this through. Remember that in this case, we bought computers, so we debited computers. Now, what is happening now? Laptop is taken out of the business. So can you see what should be a credit?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you see
Computer
that?
equipment.
Can you see how I think about these things? So there's now less computers in the business. Therefore, it's a credit computers. We can't debit equipment because then it increases.
Don't we debit drawings, ma'am?
Yeah, we debit drawings, correct. Because now there's more drawings, the partner owes us this money because he took it from the business. But if you're not sure in a question, in a certain transaction, think about it logically. It's easy to think what is now less. There's a decrease in my assets. Remember BAE, a decrease in assets means it's less, it's a minus, and therefore it's a credit when your asset decreases. So it's a credit computers, and then obviously your drawings must be the debit, the balancing figure. And what type? Give me an example for a narrative. Anything. Don't look at your solution. Give me any narrative that you think can work.
Drawings from partner.
What drawings? A computer specifically. Computer taken by partner. Okay. Just ask again, Mondli. It's muted. Did I miss any of your questions in the chat? There are drawings increased, computer decreased, drawings increased perfectly. Yeah, we can't debit equipment. We need to credit equipment, or in this case, computers. All right. The next one on the second, receive payment of 648 Rand from G. Zhao in settlement of his account. Receive payment. What does that say to you? What journal is that? Receive payment.
The business cash receipts journal.
Business cash receipts. Everybody clear on that? You all agree? Thumbs up. Yes, there's one hand. Is that a thumb? Okay, so on the second, we receive it from G. Zhao, I assume that's how we pronounce it. And again, remember, we go straight to the bank column, 648. And then in which column should it go? Sundries or clients?
Client control.
Clients, because it said received from in settlement. So he's a client, so it must go under client. Okay, all clear. Great. Next one. Number on the 5th, Ji Jiao is invoiced with fees in respect of the drafting of a will, 2,376. Jiao is invoiced for fees. Is there any mention of cash or money flowing, cash payments or receipts?
No.
Where should this entry then go? Is your
Fees
general journal?
Fees journal.
Fees journal? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, everybody happy? Fees journal? Great. So this was on the 5th, hey? 5th. We can say 5-2. Always remember to look at the info in the question, what is required. Most of the time we will have fees journal for the month of February 2020. So in this case, you will just add a 5 there for the date. But I don't have the full heading there, so I'm going to put 5-2 so that you can just see. So this is for Ji Jiao. And what did we do for him or her? Drafting of a will, so that we know why we invoiced him or her for this amount. And that was 2376. And it's a client, so it must be client as well. Any questions? Still okay. The next one on the 8th. Z Zula instructs the attorney's practice to issue a summons against his wife for a divorce. He pays a deposit of 1,620 to cover preliminary cost. The important words are: he pays a deposit. That tells you in which journal it should go. He receives, remember, not a payments journal, a receipts journal. The money comes into the trust. Are you clear on that, Kukart? Yes, you can ask.
Ma'am, you are in which transaction now? I'm a bit lost. Are you not in number 9 of the transaction?
No, I'm on the 8th.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, the next one, Lukisa, you can ask. Is that okay? Yes, go ahead.
Ma'am, would I be right if I would, since Z Zulu, he already paid his deposit, so I shouldn't include him in the fees because he paid already. He doesn't necessarily owe. I
No,
don't
this
know.
is a deposit. This is a deposit. We haven't invoiced him for anything. As soon as we invoice him for that divorce case, it will go into the fees journal. But this is just him paying us a deposit so that we can proceed with this divorce case. Is that
thank you.
clear? Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, you can ask.
Ma'am, would it be a problem if I asked you that may you please send the transaction on the 8th because I cannot see it here.
Anine, can you
On the screen.
repost those entries for us again, those journals, those informations? It is in the chat. You can just perhaps scroll up. You will find it there.
Ma'am, transaction number 7 and 8, and yes, 7 and 8 are not available in this on the charts.
Oh, is it not showing in that one? Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, can I quickly read it to you? Z Zulu instructs the attorney's practice to issue a summons against his wife for a divorce. He pays a deposit of 1620 to cover preliminary costs. Okay, so it's on the 8th. It's cash that we receive. There we go. Thanks, Anine. Z Zulu. That's why we work as teams, because we can't do it on our own. So thank you. Okay, remember, I always go to the trust bank column first, or the bank column, before I then split this and decide where it goes. Remember, Z Zulu is a client, so it must go under trust creditors control. Everybody okay on that? Okay, the next one on the 9th. Natal is invoiced, now listen to what I'm saying, is invoiced for fees of 75,600 for defense in the court case filed by ABC Venture Capital, and Africa Attorneys receives payment in cash for the full amount. Okay, can you hear the transactions? Natal is invoiced with fees. What does that tell us? Which journal?
The fees journal.
Fees journal, everybody clear on that? Invoiced with fees, that's your indication where it should go. It's not something about cash or anything. The first sentence just tell you is invoiced for fees. So on the 9th of February, what's his name? I missed it now. Natal. And the amount is 75,600. And he is a client, so 75,600. Okay. Okay. Everybody okay on this one? Now, if we continue reading, it says, and Africa Attorneys receives payment in cash for the full amount. Receives cash. Which journal are we going to put this in now?
Business
It's the
cash receipts.
business. Yes.
Business cash receipts or trust cash receipts?
Business cash receipts.
Everybody happy with business cash receipts? Yes, good, good. In Natal? And it's 75,600 is the full amount that he's paying us. And it is a client, so it goes into the client's control account. Yes, yeah?
So ma'am, can I ask, in one statement, there can be two transactions that are required for us to record?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank
So
you.
take it step by step. Go through the required, through the information and take it step by step. Yeah, there can be more. For instance, if we purchase an asset, we can also say depreciation of that, etc., etc. So there can definitely be more than one transaction in a line given to you. Okay, on the 10th, receive a deposit of 3432 from Sea Cape. And you already see where we're going with this. Receive a deposit. That must be either business cash receipts or trust cash receipts. Do you agree? Now we just need to figure out which one. from Seacape for the preparation of contracts regarding the registration of a company. So is it business or is it trust? Receives a deposit from Seacape.
Trust.
It's a transfer.
Trust. Everybody happy with trust? It's a deposit like we had with Zulu for her divorce case or his divorce case. It's the same thing. It's a deposit. And it's contracts. And it is 3432. Everybody okay and still on track? Good, good, good. This was on the 10th, the 11th. Receive an amount from P&C Stationeries for stationery purchased on credit. 846. Receive an account. Is that what I said? Receive an account from P&C Stationeries for stationery purchased on credit. Is there any mention of cash?
No.
No. General ledger. Everybody agree on that? Because we receive the account. There's no mention of cash or EFT or whatever. What is now increasing? What is more?
Stationery.
Stationery. Everybody happy? Your assets, or not your assets, but your stationery is more in the cupboard. So there's your stationery is, I keep losing the amounts. 846. What is now credit?
Trade payables.
Accounts payable.
Good. Accounts payable. Everybody happy? And what is our narrative? We can say stationery bought on credit. Or purchased on credit or whatever. There's no specific wording for the narrative. Can you see that I also end each transaction in my general journal so that it is nice and neat and you can track the transactions? All right, number 12. Natal instructs the attorneys practice to act on his behalf in a third-party case and pays a deposit of 720. What is it? Is it a general journal? Is it a fees journal? What is it? Pays a
Trust payment journal.
Trust cash receipts journal. Everybody agree on that? It's quiet. Are you all still there?
Isn't it trust cash payment journal?
Cash receipts. It's we receive the money. We're not Natal. Natal is our customer. We are what is our name? Africa Attorneys. So Natal pays us on the 12th for what is it? Third party case. There's not much more there in the question. Third party case. And we get 720 from him. And he is a trust creditor. All clear? All happy? Now we keep on reading. Remember, there's more than one. This one has got more info. The attorney's practice pays 60 Rand for a police report from these funds. Pays 60 Rand for a police report. Where are we slotting this in transaction into?
Trust cash payments.
Trust cash payments. Everybody okay with that? Good, good. Report. 60 Rand. And it's a trust creditor. Okay, oi. Okay, the next one. On the 17th, pay municipal taxes on behalf of eNorth in respect of the transfer of the property. We pay taxes on behalf of eNorth. Is there money involved? Yes, we pay
Yes.
something, so it must be either business or trust payments. But it is for a client. eNorth must be a client. So we do it on the 17th. We have eNorth. We can say taxes. Yeah, let's just say municipal taxes. And the amount is 1440. 1440. Okay. On the 18th, the transaction between Trust Creditor eNorth, the one that we just had, and the buyer F East is concluded. The balance on the trust account of eNorth is paid out to him. Okay. We can't do much at this stage because we haven't done the transactions. Let's see if it is fairly easy to do. Let me just see, when did we have eNorth? Is there anything else that we had on eNorth somewhere? Oh, he had a balance on his account. I'm just going to skip that 17 for now. There you are. You do have it there. I'm just going to circle this one because I want to show you actually how we do it before I do it in the I'm just going to put it in here so that we come back to it, but I want to show you how we actually calculate it. So I'm going to put it in there, and that is the balance. Let's just leave it as is. We'll come back to that one. I want to explain that in more details to you later. Okay. 18th, yes. On the 20th, eNatal is invoiced with fees in respect of the third-party case. Which journal are we going to use?
The fees journal.
eNatal is invoiced, so it must be the fees journal, correct. On the 20th. One 1728. 1728. Pay Advocate G. Lange in respect of the third-party case of eNatal. Pay Advocate Lange. Pay What does that tell us?
Business cash payment.
Cash payment. Can you hear it? Pay advocate. Okay, so it's a cash payments entry. And Natal was a client of ours, so it goes under client's control. Pay sheriff fees from trust monies for issuing of summons for Z Zulu. Pay sheriff fees. Is it business or trust cash payments? Sia?
Trust.
Trust.
Yeah.
Yes?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
isn't like advocate fees and sheriff fees supposed to go to the general ledger because the business I saw that written in unit 4 that like sheriff fees and advocate fees are separate from the business cash payment and the business cash receipts.
It all depends if it's a payment or a receipt. You need to check the information. And you are referring now to the transaction of the 20th, the pay advocate, that one.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we pay him, so it must be a cash outflow, so it must be a cash payment.
Okay, thank you.
You're not 100% sure.
Yeah, because I'm not sure because like I thought like advocate fees have their own ledger or something.
Yeah, it has its own ledger, but we're only working now with the cash payments and receipts. We haven't done the ledger accounts as yet. We're still going there.
Okay, no problem.
We're still going
Okay.
there. Okay, so we're busy with the, I think it's the sheriff's fee now, if I'm not mistaken. It's Z Zulu. Sheriff. And that was 148. Just sort out my pages. Okay, we're going nice and slowly. On the 22nd, pay registration expenses from trust monies in respect of the company's registration for Sea Cape. So this one actually gives you the answer. Pay fee expenses from trust money. So which one must that be?
Trust payments.
Trust payments. It's given to you. And 2360. Okay. Receive office rent of 1,400 from ASA for subletting a section of the premises. Receive office rent. Where does that go?
Business receipt.
Cash receipts.
Good. Business cash receipts on the 28th. Rent received or office rent or whatever. And that must be sundries. Do you agree? Because it's nothing to do with the client. It's our own business income. Okay, processed EFT payments. That is quite clear. It must be cash payments or wages. And stop if you don't agree, if you don't understand. Water and electricity. It's everything with a business. Electricity. Easy marks, quick. And telephone. Okay, and the last one. At 28 February, Africa Attorney calculates and accounts for depreciation on the computer equipment and the law library at 20% per annum on the straight line method. Where will that be ended? Is it a cash transaction? Is it fees? Is it general ledger?
General ledger.
General ledger, okay. On the 28th. Now I want you to calculate this. What happens when there's depreciation? It's always the same entry. What is debited?
Depreciation is debited.
Yeah, always depreciation, debit. And what is credit? Depreciation.
Accumulated depreciation.
Accumulated depreciation. It's always that entry. You will never have any other type of entries. This is what we always ask you. And that is where your knowledge about depreciation stops. Okay, so we bought, let me just quickly see if it's an easy calculation. What was that computers? The library, and there was a balance on the. Okay, let's just leave it for now. We can always come back to that. This is, I want us to work from the journal so that you can see where we do the calculation. I'm going to say law library and depreciation. Appreciation. Okay. And also on the 28th. Depreciation again on the computers. Eh? Okay, I'm just going to leave it as is. We'll come back and we'll do the actual amounts a bit later on. Okay, so I hope you've all done the same as what I have. We can now just quickly add it to see if we agree on the amounts. Okay, this is straightforward, 1,400. This should be 76248. So we add it down. And this is 77648. And what do you do in the exam or in the assignments? You check this plus this must equal that one. Just check so that you can see if you missed a double entry somewhere. Okay, always remember to do that. If we add this up, what do we get? $5,772. 5,772. Again, check. This plus this must equal that one. Same with the cash payments. 24704 3960. And if we use the calculator, and again, this plus this must equal that one. Okay, this one I'm not going to add because we still need to complete that line there. So for now, I'm just going to leave that open for you. The fees journal. Okay. Are you still with me? Okay, and we don't add up a general ledger. Okay. Now, if we look at the folios, I want to explain the folios to you before we carry on. A folio we use to find or to track this transaction. Where did we go with this transaction from the cash receipts journal? Now, you will see in the solution, and I'm going to use the same abbreviation so that we don't confuse you. And I want you to make a note of it somewhere because everybody's going to ask me about this. And there are no specific rules, but you should use it one day in practice, although it will be on a program, that a computer program, but that is where this how it works. So this means this Gigao is a client. It goes to the client ledger and his account is number 1. In Natal, this amount goes to client ledger number 2. His account is number 2. Rent received, wages, water, electricity, office rent, all of those goes to N for November, or what we call it nominal accounts. So make a note of it somewhere that you don't ask this to me again. Nominal accounts. That's why we say N. So meaning rent received has a nominal account and the number is 2. The same now with the client's control. B is actually for barters, I think. I'm not even sure why it is B, but I just remember it as barters or assets. You can also call it A8 or A6. So this bank account you will find in your general ledger under number 6, and your client's control will be account number 8. Is this clear to you? Do you understand where these comes from?
Sorry, ma'am. So do we have N1 and N2 and so forth?
Yeah, yes. And there's no specific rules that this must be 2. This can be a 5 as well. You know, it's just an indication to you so that you can track this transaction and see, okay, I will find it on N2. And I will show this to you now when I do the ledgers itself. There's my ledgers, but I will show that to you now. Let's just go through this now first. Okay. So for the cash payments journal, we have the same. Remember, office rent, I said was an N for nominal. In this case, it was number 7 in the solution. Your law library is an asset. So B2, for instance. In Natal, up there we had in Natal, client number 2. Can you see it goes to the same account, CL2, CL2. Wages, in this case, number 6, nominal number 6. Water and electricity, nominal 5. Telephone number 4. Okay. Clients control, we had the same at the top, B8. Same as there, B8. And this then must be obviously B6. It will all make sense to you once I show you the general ledger itself, but then at least you know where this is coming from. This is not trust account, so the folio will be trust creditors control, trust creditors ledger. Let's put this as T2, TCL3, and TCL4. And I'm just using the same numbers as in the study material so that I don't confuse you. Can you tell me what that folio should be? Any ideas? Any guesses? Should be TCL4 because that is not Towel's account number. Can you see? It's the same number. This one is 1. This was also then be 1 because it's the same person. What must Zulu then be? Sianda?
Ma'am, will we be required to remember these TCL foldings?
For the folios, yes. I recommend that you learn these, just not the number itself, but the folio, the wording of the folios. Trust client's ledger. Trust client's ledger, nominals, and your assets we call B, nominals, client ledger. It's not that difficult to know and to remember, so just make a note of it and know when to use what. What will we use for C Cape?
TCL3.
Good, TCL3. Okay. Is that clear to everybody? That is where that comes from. If we quickly go down here, how was CL1? CL1. Natal was CL2. CL2. Okay. Okay, now we're going to move over to the actual ledgers itself. Once again, I quickly, did I miss anything there? If Natal is CL2 in there, should it not be CL? No, he's not a trust. This is just a client. fees journal is for clients. It's not trust account. Yeah, but this is for the payment side. That is trust controls. So these are trust books. These are business books. Remember, we have 2 sets of books. So they must be separate. Irvana? Okay, can you quickly open some T accounts for me on a piece of paper? There are quite
Sorry,
a
ma'am.
few. Yes.
I just want to check. Please scroll up a bit
This
to
one.
the trust cash payments and receipts.
Yeah.
When do we get to use that column for sundries?
Very seldom, very seldom in trust accounts. I can't even think of something that will go in there quickly. Most of the time it will be trust creditors control. Anine, can you think of something quickly? I can't think of anything right now. I don't know if any of you can. But as far as I know, we very seldom use the sundry column in for the trust accounts.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so let's just open these quickly. Just quickly draw a T. You don't even need to put credits and debits on the side, and open a few of them for me. I'm going to try and finish mine. Yeah, perhaps bank charges in a trust account will go under sundries. That's possible. That's possible. I agree. Thank you, Gavinish. Okay. I'm just going to copy a few of mine still. Didn't copy. Sorry, my internet went off. Accumulated capital. Just want to see. So why am I starting with these as headings? Because they were given to me in the question. If you look at just after example 5.2, these were the ones that were given to us. So it's always a good idea to start with these when you open your T accounts. I think I've got most of them now so that we can proceed. Okay, so if we look on the list, the following is a list of balances per the general ledger of Africa attorneys at 31st January 20.6. So this is now at the beginning of the current month, which is February. Okay. So it tells us we have capital, we have a credit, and we've got a balance. So it must be on the 1st of February. We have balance. And remember, when we have an opening balance, it's always brought down. Brought down. And the amount is 223,920. Can everybody see where I got that from? Okay, the next one, accumulated depreciation, law library. Again, it's a credit. It's on the 1st of February. It's my opening balance. It is again brought down. And the amount is 3,000 Rand. Please stop me if you don't agree or you're not sure where I'm going with this. The next one is accumulated depreciation, computer equipment. Again, on the 1st, balance brought down, 6,480. Trust creditors control, balance brought down, 2,520. Okay, now let's do the debits. Law library at cost, debits. Again brought down. Computer. Business bank. Are you keeping up? Trust bank. And clients control. Okay, so will you be able to open the ledger accounts in a question? The information is given to you. It tells you which balances are debit, which are credit. Just remember the first day of the current month, that's your opening date, balance, and it's always brought down when you have opening balances. And the total is then also given to you. So these are easy marks to complete your general ledgers. Okay, so let's now go to the next entries. Now we go to our, let me just find it on my table. We go to the previous one. Okay, I haven't put this in. Let me just quickly do this. Remember our ledgers, we said this must be B, This, I think, was B2, if I'm not mistaken. If I remember correctly. B2. I assume computers will be B3. So can you see why we use these? So that we can find the so we know where to find the correct ledger account to use. Accumulated law library B4, and this one will be B5. Business bank, I see is B6. I'm just using the same numbers as what we had in the study material so that I don't confuse you. Client's control is B8. And trust creditors control is B9. Okay. Everybody clear where that comes from? Okay. So now if we start doing the posting, we call it posting from this accounts, from the journals to the ledgers. This is how we do it. Business cash receipts journal goes B6, and that amount must go to B6. B6 at the end of the month receipts. It comes from where? Business cash receipts journal, and that was the amount. It didn't copy from mine. Okay, have a look again. I'm going to show you again. Business cash receipts. It goes to B6. I'm going to highlight this, B6, and it goes to B6, and there's the amount on the debit side. Now, how do you know it's debit or credit? If we receive money, the money in the bank increases, so it must be on the debit side. Okay, and what did we always say? If something is debited, something needs to be credited. The same amount. Cash control, B8. Client's control on the 28th. You are extremely quiet. Are you still awake?
Yes.
One yes.
Question, ma'am.
A very faint yes.
Yes.
Business bank. Sorry, I think I don't have enough space here. Business cash receipts journal. And the same amount, 76248.
Sorry, ma'am, to disturb you.
Mm-mm.
Can you please repeat that part when you are saying when we will know it will be debited or be credited
Okay.
on the bank account?
Yes.
Business bank account, yes.
Okay. So if we look at this cash receipts, it means money came into the business. So the money in the business bank is more. It increased on the debit side. Your bank increases. And if this is debit, then the other entry must be a credit. Remember, debit must equal credit. Okay, but we still have one here, which is rent received. And that one goes to N2. Otherwise, this won't balance, eh? So this one goes to N2. We don't have an account for that as yet. So we will just have to open a ledger account for this. And this is going to be called rent received. And I think that was that N1? Can't remember now. N2. N2. It is on the credit side. Remember, income is always on a credit. Business bank. Cash receipts. Business cash receipts. Business cash receipts journal. And that was 1,400. Okay, so there I have my debits and my credit, and they are equal. The same from this side. This plus this equal that one. Okay, any questions? Think about this, ask now. No questions? Okay, let's do the business cash payments journal. Okay, we said B6 28664. It goes to the business bank account. On the credit side, why on the credit side? Because it was money going out of the business, so our bank decreased, so it must be on the credit side. Business cash payments journal. That was also a green. Okay, everybody's still okay on this? This again goes to the client's control 3960. If this was a credit, this must be a debit. Okay. And then for all of these ends, we will have to open another accounts like this one. Okay. So you will have one for your office rent, one for your wages, one for your water and electricity, one for your telephone. So you will have to open T accounts for all those nominal accounts. But I want to balance an account for you so that you can see how that works. So I just want to do one from here, fees journal, clients control, that should be B8. B8, and your fees will be N1. So if we work on, I just want to show you this one. If this goes to client's control, 7-9, client's control on the 28th, fees journal, fees earned or whatever. Okay. And the other one will go to N1, which is one that you will have to open on the side. Right, so in total, at the end of the day, you will have quite a few new accounts in your general ledger. So one by one, you will have to open these N1, the N accounts. You have a B2 for your library, and you will also have separate accounts for your trust control ledgers, client ledgers, and your client ledgers on its own. For tonight, I don't think I will have enough time for that. So I don't know, we can perhaps have a look to discuss this at a later stage if you don't understand after working through the examples. But I want to show you how we balance a T account, because that is always tricky to a student. So what we do when we have we've done all the posted all the transactions from these accounts to these separate items, to these ledger accounts, even these ones, you always also do it, post it to the various T accounts. At the end of this transactions, you then want to balance a T account. So how do you go about doing that? You take your calculator and you literally add these up. Now, what I type in here, I'm going to type in another color because this is just rough work. Rough work. It's not what you show. You add those two up and you get on your calculator, you will get 261,944. Can you see where that comes from? Yes, no. This plus this equal that. You agree, everybody? Yes, thank you. There are some people still awake and alive. Can you see that this side is larger than this side? Can you see it?
Yes, we can see it.
Yes. So what does that mean? It means that I will have to balance. Remember, I've talked about that balancing thing. That scale that we have, this side needs to be equal to this side. It means that we have a missing amount on this side to balance this to that amount, to make it equal. We are missing something, and that is what we are missing. Now, how do we calculate this? You take the total, the largest side, minus what you have there, and that is your balancing figure. That is the balance carried down. Carried down. Please stop me if you don't understand. And then on the 1st of March, you will have a balance, again, brought down. Okay, so the total of my ledger will be that. This is how your ledger will look. Don't make a mess of this in these assignments or this exam. You find the largest side, this case, this one. You put in the largest total at the bottom. you minus whatever you have on the small side, and the missing amount is the balance carried down at the end of the month. Okay, can we try another one? Let's do this one. Okay, where do we start? What do we do first? Which side is the largest?
Debit.
The debit is largest. You can see it. So you add this up. And what do you get? Use your calculator, double check. Double check before you slot it in there. Agree? You add this up because you can see this one is larger than that one. So you know this must be the total at the bottom. So what is missing? It must be our balance carried down. And that is the amount 9120. Can everybody see where that's coming from? Okay, any questions?
Ma'am, on
Yes.
on the exam, we will be asked to draw a table like this, or we will find them already there, or because
This one.
No, I'm talking about all of these T accounts.
No, we will give you T accounts, but they will all be in blocks. Remember, okay. So you will have a question, and we will ask you for the cash payments journal, the fees journal, the trust cash payments, etc., etc. You will have to complete this and this. You will have to complete. So you will know. You must know the headings. You must know the headings. Sorry, just a second. Must know the headings. Then you will complete from the entries, from the info we give you, you will complete these. You will add them up. So that will be required from you. And if we give you, we will give you some T accounts, like this one, for instance. We will give you, you will have to add the date. You will have to add the description. Is it drawdown? Is it business control of business cash receipts and the amount? So all of these will be empty blocks, which you will have to type in whatever is relevant. So this will be drop downs also. So for instance, there it might be brought down, carried down, various options, and you must pick the right one. So you need to know what needs to be in a proper bank account or a property account, and you will have to be able to determine is the balance a debit or a credit, carried down and then brought down on this side. So all of this will be given in blocks where you have to complete the block.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay.
Any
other? Yes.
Will I be penalized for getting the full numbers or full incorrect or not inserting them?
No, we won't penalize you. I'm just explaining it to you. So when you do work through the study material, that you know why we use B's and N's and all of that, but you won't be penalized. No.
Or I can choose to omit them.
Well, if there's no block given to you, you can just leave them. For instance, if there's not a block there for you in the assignment, you don't need to put in anything there. But if they ask you if there's a block, obviously you need to pick the correct one from the drop down. But we will say N or B or CL or so. So we won't, expect you to know it's 4 or 5 or 6. For us, it's important that you know this is for assets and this is for the nominal accounts.
Oh, I thought maybe I was supposed to memorize them.
No.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Yes, Yanda?
Ma'am, I have 2 questions. First of all, how do we know that, like, what is a brought down account or what is a carried down account? The second question is, can you tell me if I'm correct? Nominal accounts are for expenses. Then B, the B sign, is it for assets? Then like the CLR sign, is it like for like client's ledger accounts? And I think it's T something. Is it like
TCL.
trust accounts?
Yes, perfectly right. Your trust client's ledger, nominal accounts, assets accounts, and like you said, your nominals are for your incomes and expenses.
Okay.
So you're 100% correct there. That is basically the rule that you need to remember.
Okay.
And then you ask about carry down, it's always the same. Very important. Your opening balances are brought down from the previous month. And this balance is now carried down at the end of the month and then brought down in the beginning of the new month. So it's always brought down, carried down, brought down, carried down, brought down. Your opening is always brought down.
Oh, so it's only in 3. It's brought down, carried down, brought down again.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Another one, Sianda?
No, ma'am. Let me just put down my hand.
Okay. Are there any other questions? It's been a long evening. You had 2 sessions this evening. Please, there's 2 long examples in the study material. Take some time, work through it, use your own paper, draw up the accounts, do everything on your own before you refer to the solutions, please. You will definitely get these type of questions in the exams and in the assessments. And the explanations in the study material are very clear, etc. Go through it, communicate with us via email if you don't understand something, but you can only gain the knowledge that you need for the assessments if you work through it on your own, draw up the T accounts, do the general, do all the journals, etc. Remember to try and see to which journal you should do the entry. This is all part of what is required from you in the assessments and in the exam. So please don't think this is too difficult or whatever. You need to understand this. That's all I can tell you at this stage. Please work through your assignments. And I think your assessment 3 is now due next week or the 7th. Assessment 3 has got ledger accounts in the recording of transactions and all of that. So please, please, please work through your study material and make sure that you understand small things like carry down, brought down, when is it debit, when is it credit, etc., etc. Please, that's all I'm asking from you.
Sorry, ma'am. Are you able to advise on which journals we be writing on next week?
All of
Except
these
the
ones
ledger.
that are, all of these.
Or no depreciations and whatever, only.
Yeah, there's depreciation in the general ledgers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if I have covered these journals, then
You
I'm in a
should be
position to
fine,
pass.
yeah, because that includes your depreciation. This includes your fees, and your trust and your business cash. I think that is basically it. I don't think there can be. I think in one of the assignments, I think one of the assessments examples. Sorry, in your study material, there's also a reference to a petty cash journal. I didn't do that on the screen because it was quite a difficult thing to put on the screen. It's got a lot of columns, but there's one, that's why I say please work through example 5.2 and 5.3 in this section, because that covers all of your journals that you can get. Yes, there's also a petty cash journal, but it's not a difficult thing. It's just difficult to put it on a slide because it's very comprehensive. It's got a lot of columns in it. Siyanda?
So ma'am, for the assignment next week, we should only study unit 4 and 5.
I think it's 1 to 5, but I mean, you've already covered learning units 1, 2, and 3 for assessment 2. So basically, we're adding now 4 and 5. Remember, your first units talk about your depreciations, your inventories, your VAT, all of that. So that will now always be included in your questions. It will never stop. It's just compiling, and it's coming more and more difficult, but because we add some of these VAT and depreciation now to these later assignments.
So bank reconciliation can also be included in these kind of questions.
Yes. That's why I say it's learning units 1 to 5 is now part of assessment 3, and it is your first proctored assessment. So you will also get familiar with the proctoring now.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Please complete the evaluation form that Anine posted on the chat. And remember, please send us an email if you struggle with anything, if you have any questions. Please feel free to ask. We are available on emails every day, so otherwise, good luck. Enjoy your long weekend. Unfortunately, while you're a student, you don't have long weekends. That's just time to catch up. Okay, no questions? Yes.
Ma'am,
Yes.
which email are you using?
Which what?
Email.
The FAC 1503 mailbox.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
The last question, ma'am. On the general journal, we didn't put the numbers or the amounts under depreciations. What was the reason again?
You can calculate it. I haven't calculated it because I thought we didn't have enough time, but we can if you want to. We can quickly do the law one, the law library. We bought on the, I'm just going what is in the solution, business bank. Okay, if we balances this, we can clearly see what side is the largest. We can see this one is largest. We add it up.
Actually, I meant under general journal.
Yeah, but we need to have this before we can do the general journal.
Oh, okay.
That's why I left it at that stage. Balance, carried down. Okay. And then obviously we also need to look at the accumulated depreciation.
So where does 1.2 come from?
Where do you see 1.2?
And business bank.
It
And,
comes from here. Where are we? We bought B2. Remember, we bought that government gazette things. So it comes from there.
okay.
Can you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so let's just put that in blue. And that comes from there. Okay, and then we do the same with the depreciation. We've got the 3,000. And then where's the question? Calculates depreciation on equipment and law library at 20% per annum on the straight line method. I remember reading something about that. Just see, what was it? 3,000.
My name is Zaina, and I've had the honor of leading this program. Now, I must say, just like the Zikebe wine, all right, drum roll, please.
Let me just quickly have a look. 16,000. It was bought. We bought it on the 1st. Yes, that's right. So we have, this is a very dark color. So we had this 15 and we had the total of 16,200 for a full month. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
So 16,200 times 0.2 or 20% divided by 12 gives us 270, and that goes in here. Okay, or you can also go back here and say that was law library, 270. And the explanation there is 15,000 plus 1,200. That's not a plus. Plus equals 16,200 times 20% and then divided by 12 for 12 months. Divided by 12 months. And that will give you the 270. Okay.
That formula is too long.
It's the opening balance. Opening balance 715 plus the new purchases of 1,200. So it means the total cost is 16,200. 16,200 times 20% depreciation that's given to you in the question. And then you divide by 12 months to determine how much is applicable to February, which is then 270.
Okay.
Okay, work through your study material. You'll see the calculations in there. But this is where we got that from. So as you can see, it's a combination from the previous learning units included now in this when we do the general ledgers. Okay. Make contact, please ask if you have questions. Okay, guys, have a great evening further and good luck with your next assessment. I'll be with you on the 13th again. And I hope you didn't have a bad April Fool's Day. So yeah, the day is almost over, so you can stay safe and have a nice evening. Thank you and goodbye. Bye.
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 Bye.